scenery rapidly changes as I leave East Carolina University's expansive campus, where I participated in the inaugural Summer Institute of the Charter River Writing Project for rural eastern North Carolina. I pass few cars but infinite fields: cotton, soybeans, tobacco, corn, richly green in spring and summer. I veer to miss slow-moving turtles in search of a new watering hole and late-rising deer, while hawks hunt from power line perches. The area is flat as a fritter, as my dad would say. Socioeconomic inequities are blatantly obvious as I pass a huge expansive farmhouse one moment, numerous shotgun cottages overtaken by trumpet creepers and wisteria next, and a little group of trailers surrounded by broken down cars and clotheslines after that. My first year as a public school teacher was a whirlwind. Not only did I have to figure out how to teach the North Carolina Standard Course of Study and how to manage classrooms full of hormonal middle schoolers, but I had to learn the inner workings of a school and the school system. We as a faculty were, among other things, focused on bridging the achievement gap and test scores. When we went into school improvement for not meeting annual yearly progress in math, things became very tense. A sense of urgency and sometimes panic overtook our school. I quickly caught on to what this meant for our school as I was inundated with all of the scary buzzwords: achievement gap, subgroups, accountability. One of many top-down intervention strategies that was put into place was that our faculty was asked to read Ruby Payne's Understanding Poverty. The idea was for the faculty to develop an understanding of our students' demographics and lives outside of school so that we could in turn address our achievement gaps. While I understood the relativity of poverty and supported the need to demystify the social rules of the middle class, I began to experience a sense of dread. I feared the discussion would result in a "aha, I get poverty now" moment, but not result in a true shift of mindset and a deeper understanding of the complexities of poverty and how it impacts our learners' behavior and performance. During the faculty discussion, I wondered if I was alone in my discomfort. I was turned off by the sense of otherness perpetuated by the book and its condescending feel. Having grown up first-generation middle class, I only knew of poverty from the perspective of my great-grandparents' stories of rural western Pennsylvania. The first eyewitness experience I had with generational poverty was during the 3 years I spent mentoring mentally and behaviorally challenged children in eastern North Carolina. Looking at the book and my mentoring experiences as a student of multicultural literature and postcolonial theory, I was troubled that Payne neglected to explain the connection between what dominant society deems as inappropriate behavior with survivals of marginalized cultures. As far as I was concerned, there was enough of this bless their little hearts going on around. I had to think about what tools I could help my students develop to better prepare them for fighting and resisting a system that placed them in poverty to begin with. I believe that some students, especially those students who are not well versed in the underlying rules of middle-class social behavior, see school as a threatening place, a place where they must always be on guard. I want to help my students understand at least the basics of navigating a system where some of them are set up to fail. I need to teach not only the curriculum, but to make it relevant and empowering. I want my students to discover purpose in their lives and continue to become great thinkers and compassionate people. But what does this mean for my students? What does this mean for me as a teacher and a transplant to this rural area? What does that mean for our rural community? What does this mean for our future? Will my students someday return after their future learning to share these tools and give back to our community? Every day, I carried these questions across the river.